If you're here, it's because you've been a part of Challenge history. We've chosen the toughest players in 40 seasons.
Did you guys imagine when you first started this journey that you'd still be going strong in season 40? I mean, y'all are literally making a career out of this, getting paid to show up. Did you think that this would be the case for y'all?
I didn't. My very first season, which was Rivals 1, everybody was like, this is going to be the last season. And I'm like, I just got here. And now, umpteen seasons later, we still going.
I lasted a total of 24 hours on my first season, so I didn't think I was ever going to be invited back. But apparently they saw something in me. They wanted to give me a second shot. I had a second shot, and I think I made the best of it. And here I am now 18 seasons later. I spent the best years of my life, competing and bleeding and sweating all over the globe, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, I can definitely say it's safe to say when I started with my whole era, we never would have imagined that at 41, which is what I am now, that I would be going back for season 40 and be in better shape than I was at 19. So I also feel like that's just something that I would have never called out, but I feel like that's kind of where we're at now. And yeah, I don't think any of us though imagined that the show would be bigger at this stage than it was even back then. And it's only grown more and more. And now with the influx of other reality shows and social media and all of the other elements to what this show makes now, it's its own beast.
We're like one of those bands that was super famous in like the 80s and then somehow was able to like reinvent themselves in the 90s and then again in the 2000s. And now here we're going into our fourth decade, but our fourth, era, obviously, of television. And we're still reinventing ourselves and still hitting it strong. And I've said this about other reality shows. Like, we started this, okay? There are other shows that might have been out before us that started, but when it comes to the competition aspect, when it comes to taking fan favorites from, one show and bringing them back and allowing the fan base to follow their favorite cast members for years, there's people who've been following me since I was out of college. They graduated college with me. Our fans are the most loyal fans out there. I mean, they've stuck with us. They continue to stick with us. That's one of the main reasons why the show has been as successful for as long as it has. And again, we might not be the trendiest or the flashiest, but we are 100% the grittiest. And, that's why we're still here.
There's a lot of talk. I'm talking to the OGs now. There's a lot of talk about how they don't make them like this anymore, right? What do you think is the biggest difference between the OGs and some of the new competitors?
I think that the casting process back in the day was so much more, I think, rigorous and than it is today. And a lot of that is just because they didn't have the pool of other shows to pull from. I was one of 200,000 applicants for my original season of The Real World. So the casting process that you had to go through was, it was intense. And it was very multifaceted. And I think what ended up happening because of that is they got a lot of, everyone that they cast was multi-dimensional, multi-layered, like an onion, right? There's a lot of layers to them. Whereas I feel like now, and again, this isn't true for everyone, but a lot of times with casting now, they'll pull people from other shows who haven't had the experience, haven't gone through what some of the older cast members have not spent their 20s and 30s on reality TV. So I just think it's like any job that you have, the longer you've been doing it, the longer you've been there, the better you're going to be, the more natural it's going to feel. I think that there have been some misses in the past, but I think that they've had some people that they've cast who have obviously, we're just made for this world and for this show. And Olivia's hands down one of them.
Final question for you all. How much does the prize money motivate you versus the pride of winning?
I want to win. I'm losing. I want the money. How much is $1 million? Yeah, I want the money. Yeah. They can be like, you don't win, but you get the money. I'll take the $1 million.
Pride is a hell of a thing. And I think a lot for me, I think when it comes to the being able to raise that trophy and being able to say you won, to me goes a lot further than, the money at the end. That's obviously nice. But this show is so difficult. People don't understand how absolutely mind-numbingly difficult this show is, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. There has to be an element of luck every single season because there's no way you're making it to a final without some luck falling in your favor at one point. So just getting to the end,
the amount of work you got to put in,
the amount of work, the amount of the amount of obstacles you have to face, just making it to the end and being able to, you know, hoist that trophy up at the end of the show. It's one of the most difficult things you can do on Earth. So it's like, not to say that money isn't great, but I feel like the satisfaction of winning is much more gratifying.